Good evening. Today is March 31st. My name is Miguel Castellanos. I'm a student at Texas Women's University, located here on the Denton main campus. I guess just to give my observations today on campus. Again, nothing really on campus. Um, just a lot of pests because maintenance or the groundskeepers, I guess, aren't really considered essential workers here on campus. So the grass is growing a lot, and there's been a lot of pests. A lot of pests here on campus. It's been growing, and uh, there's a lot of mosquitoes. Some mosquitoes do carry viruses, so that's something that we do have to look out for. Uh, I guess more cases again still being reported from the Denton State School. Um, a lot of people being affected there, and we have some friends down in South Texas. And they're giving us the head, just the local news down there too. My wife did read, I guess, was it an article that you read or about the case, the first reported case at Rio State Center? Okay. My wife did my wife's sitting right next to me. My wife, read an article about the place I used to work at, like the Rio Grande State Center in Harlingen, Texas, that they actually have their first reported case of the COVID-19 virus. Like I told you guys before. I guess it's an employee. Um, like I've said before, like on my last video, um, places like that, essentially that are very close quartered with lots of patients, it's going to spread rapidly. So just that one person essentially affected everybody. So it's hopefully bring more news to that, shed more light on that, see as that unravels. Um, One of our friends actually sent us a video. Her cousin is a nurse practitioner. Essentially, down in South Texas, and she just tells, pretty much the video states that this whole stay-at-home mandate down in South Texas isn't working. There's still groups larger than 10. People are still gathering around um, stores. They're still gathering in places, that are essentially, where people can be infected. Um, unfortunately now that me and my wife, what we're seeing, what we're reading, that there's now like I said, that there's a rapid rise of the COVID-19 cases down in South Texas. Our friend's cousin, the nurse practitioner, she stated that there's only 77 ventilators down in South Texas. No? Oh, 143. Sorry, 140. 143 ventilators and 77 ICU beds. That's not a lot. Yeah, that's just for the whole valley. That's for McAllen, Edinburg, Brownsville, Harlingen, San Juan, Far, essentially all of South Texas. That's all that they have. One person gets sick, a lot of people are gonna get sick, and those ventilators are gonna be used quick. Um, so yeah, so just something just to see, as it unravels down there, see what something to watch in the news and to read in the news as well. I guess ready? Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess yeah. Right now, I guess for my first, I guess guest, so to say, I have my wife. Like I said before in one of my videos, my wife, she did have a doctor's appointment last Wednesday. Um, she is pregnant. We are expecting our third child, and just wanted to bring her here to to talk about what she experienced, what she saw, what she observed, what she experienced, what it was like, to go to that doctor's appointment while this is all happening. So I'm gonna turn my camera over here. Well, I guess do you want to state your name? Anna. Well, okay. Anna. She's a alumni from Texas A&M University. She graduated in 2018, December of 2018. So she's, pretty much an inspiration to going back to school. What did you observe while you're at the doctor's office?
Um, it was pretty scary. It was something I haven't been through before. Um, Before you even get an appointment, they do some screening questions for you, which is normal, I guess. But I had been sick the week before I got an appointment, and I had an appointment set up, but because I had a fever, even though it was a low grade fever, and I wasn't experiencing any other symptoms close to COVID-19, they still would not see me. They needed me to be fever free for at least 3 days before I could come in. So I had to schedule for the next week. So there was that first of all, which was a little bit of an annoyance, but I get the prevention. Um, so when I get there, immediately what I notice in the parking lot is that there's a table and kind of like a makeshift like tent set up. You can't even get into the building until you're screened, and they do the same thing. They ask you questions, but then they check your temperature. They also check your heart, your lungs, and ask you XYZ before you're even allowed to come in. Also, I wasn't allowed to bring anyone with me. They did state, only bring yourself. You're not allowed to bring a spouse or a friend or anything for your visit. So then we go upstairs, and they actually ask if you're going to take the elevator to only one person at a time. Otherwise, I took the stairs and I didn't hang on to the handrail or anything. The first thing I noticed when I got into the office and past all that was that the office was completely bare. Normally, I guess we don't realize how many seats or how many people are seen normally at a doctor's visit, but I noticed right away there was like 5 chairs in the office. And it was a pretty decent size, but they were very clearly spaced out, very far apart. Um, so the nurse and everybody behind the counter are wearing masks and gloves, and they ask your name and all that. And when you fill out your chart, they actually hand you a pencil instead of a pen, and they ask that you throw away the pencil afterward. They're taking every precaution necessary. So I sat and waited for my appointment, and there was about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was 5 women there, all waiting for our appointment. Most of them a lot further along than I was, and 3 of which had somebody with them. One person needed a translator, so like that was fine. But the other 2 women, I was kind of upset because they knew the rules, and they were kind of bragging about, oh, this isn't that big a deal. I want my husband with me, which I understand. We all want our loved one with us, but you're not you're not following the rules, the protocol, you're putting the rest of us at risk. Surely they could have waited 10, 15 minutes while you saw your practitioner and then go outside. But that's my mini rant. Because I didn't get to take Miguel with me, and that's not fair. But the men who came in with them, they did have to wear. We didn't have to wear a mask, but they did have to wear a mask and gloves. So there was that. And before we even went back, before I was taken back by the doctor, one of the doctors, I'm thinking maybe the main one of the clinic, came out, and he said, "I just want to let you all know um, that the hospital this morning has changed their ruling. We just got out of a meeting. You need to be prepared for the fact that if you're going into labor soon, you will not be able to take someone with you, be it a doula or your spouse or a friend. Unfortunately, it's just going to be you and your practitioner." Um, and I'm not due till October. So, I mean, it still hit me pretty hard because who knows how long this is going to go on. But the woman next to me, um, who was very far along, I think she said she was due the next week, was very visibly upset and just started crying. And then she was upset also with the women who had brought their spouses, because she was like, it's people like you that are not following the rules, and the rest of us have to suffer. Like, it's not just about you. Um, and someone from behind the counter came to like kind of console her and like just calm her down. And the doctor, I mean, did apologize. He was sympathetic, but he was like, "I just want to prepare you all because your doctor is going to have this talk with you when you head back." Um, So then I got taken to the back. We did the sonogram. I got to see the baby, and it was really emotional um, for me because I didn't have my spouse there, and I've been having complications, and to be able to have that moment without anybody you love present is really hard. Um, and the sonographer, because I got emotional, was like, I told her a little bit what was going on. She was just so sweet and so nice because she knew what was going on, but she was like, I want to hug you, but I'm not supposed to. And I was like, it's okay, I understand, stay away. Because I get it. This isn't something that we've ever been through. Most of us have never been through before in our lifetime. How difficult that must be, for people who have autoimmune diseases and whatnot. Like, I can't imagine that's their daily life. And yeah, it's just hard. Um, so from there, I got taken to another room to talk to my doctor, and um, she was very nice. And this is the first time that I'm actually meeting her. She had a mask on. She had to stay 6 feet apart for most of it, except for when she had to come in to actually like check me out. But most of the time she stayed far away. And I mean, she was very nice. She was like, normally this would be I'm much more comforting, but we have to treat every person that comes in as a potential, like they have. I said, I understand. I really, truly do. She's been really great about being available to me over the phone. They don't want us to come in if we don't have to, unless we're experiencing like really severe symptoms. They're really trying to move towards telehealth medicine. And I mean, it's kind of hard too because I'm not working right now and I was looking for a job, but then she recommends, because I'm high risk, that I don't put myself out there, especially with my history of like asthma. And it was just really difficult. And like I said, I'm not due till October, but it really makes me hurt for the women that are going through births and having babies and being chingona. I don't know if I can say that,
Yeah.
but who are being great and awesome mothers and doing this alone because you don't have any other choice. But it's hard when that option gets taken away from you. It's a lot different, you know, having to go through it by yourself because you have to, and being forced to. So yeah, that's the story. You have some follow-up questions or?
Um,
Just scared, um, kind of panicky. Not super panicky, but there's always this fear that like you could get it, and it's not just me at this point; it's me and baby. Um, and even though she reassured me, and they go over the info for you, that there's been women who have given birth and the symptoms haven't passed on to the baby, and the moms have recovered. Like it's still scary. Um, yeah, because it's not just my body being infected. And then we have young children in the house. And again, even though there haven't been many cases, if any cases of young children getting it, it's still a scary thought. So definitely some fear, but also a lot of empathy for the families right now, really going through this. And I'm blessed enough that we're doing sort of okay where I can be at home. Um, I really feel for the families that don't have that option. For the ones that don't have insurance for that matter, because we have insurance. So
um, Was there any precautions that you took, like before going in there or and coming
I was very conscious about the fact when I went in that I didn't want to take the elevator and to not touch the railings when I went up the stairs. Like, I don't think that's something we normally think about. But for some reason, having gone, I think through that pre-entry, whatever, it just put it in my mind because they didn't tell me not to touch the railings, but I just had it in my mind on the way up. Um, and that too, doors. I had a jacket, so I used like the sleeve of it to open doors, and I've noticed I've been doing that a lot lately, like with my skirt and stuff, is not touching doorknobs. Um, yeah, I'd say that's really the only thing. I do find myself now, the few times that we've had to go out for groceries before I stopped going completely, um, the pin pad on the thing, I don't touch it. I'll use, again, my sleeve or a napkin or whatever I have. Or I notice like if someone gets kind of close, I move my body and I cover my mouth or I cover my face like with I usually have a paper or my planner.
out?
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know. Those are like just subconscious little things to me that I started doing. Um, I didn't really realize it until the other day. I was like, oh, just really maintaining those 6 feet, turning my face away, uh, not touching things. I mean, it's not just the touching of your face, it's touching other things that we don't think about. So yeah.
Since this whole pandemic
Mhm.
essentially the whole world. I guess like how are you dealing with it? Like what are something
I'm
like
not. Um, how are we dealing with it? We're stuck inside the house with the kids pretty much 24/7. Um,
to
I'm on
not
my phone a
worry?
lot more than I'd like to be. Uh, was that? Um, you wanna go talk to him? Come here, Colin. Come say hi to the camera. This is our son, Calvin. How old are you, bud? How old? 7. And what do you think about the coronavirus? What do you think about a long time? How does it make you feel?
Sad to miss people. Sad to miss people. Grandpa.
Abner.
I miss my. Mhm.
You miss school. You don't miss school. Can you tell me what things you've noticed about since the coronavirus? Like, what are some things that we used to do we can't do anymore? Well,
Right.
is that a little scary? Are you a little worried? But it's gonna be okay, right? As long as we do what? Stay 6 feet apart. And what else?
Touch uniform.
Wash your hands.
Mm.
What's the first thing you want to do after coronavirus goes away?
I don't know.
Maybe two flowers.
We can do Nerf battles without coronavirus. I want to go to Burger Time Machine.
I don't know.
That's what I want to do when we can go sit down at Burger Time Machine and have burger together. Are you worried for mommy and daddy? No.
No. Are you?
Oh,
You want pizza?
Like sit down at a pizza place and eat. Yeah. Is there anything you like about being at home all the time with mommy and daddy? And is there anything you don't like? Schoolwork? You don't like the schoolwork we do?
I don't like it.
You're lying.
Yeah,
You are always asking for more.
I don't like it.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. What's the video for?
Daddy's.
People in the future, when they study about the coronavirus, they can use this video and they can see people's reactions and how people felt, what people learned, what people are doing, what people are seeing, what they're hearing from the news, what they're hearing from family members and everything. So I'm making this video log.
Do you have any questions about coronavirus?
No.
Do you have anything you want to say to Daddy's teacher?
No. Just
Hello.
just hello. Anything else? No. Okay. You wanna say goodbye? Yeah. I'll be over there in a little bit. Okay, bud.
I'm gonna go.
Go on. I'll be there in a minute.
What about you?